Hi, welcome to class. Now, today I'm going to be teaching you how to build a flying object. It could be a plane. What else can fly? Birds can fly. Anything, just imagine. The only limitation you have is your imagination. Anything you can think of flying. Yes, I remember. Dragon can also fly. Yeah. So we're going to be doing that with Scratch. And I know your aim also is to have your airplane flying. So let's bring that to reality. First I will do is, I'm assuming that you already have created an account in Scratch. The idea is to ensure that every time you visit Scratch, you can always call back your project and you can start working with it. Okay, you pick up from where you left off. Or you can simply download. I already shared a link to download Scratch, or you just simply go to Google and say download Scratch. Do you know that there are two versions of Scratch? We have the one for Scratch Junior, and then we have the regular Scratch, Scratch 5. The Scratch Junior is just for children or kids from 5 lower. Okay, it's a very good way to get started with Scratch. And then what I'm doing right here is the Scratch of the version 5 and above. So, having said that, I would make sure that I give my project a name. So I will just ensure that I pick on this untitled. Okay, I can just clear it, and I want to call it flying plane. So I press my enter. Now I have a file name. If I shut down my computer unknowingly and I log in on my Scratch, I would have my project back and I can pick up from where I left off. So to do this, I want to bring in a flying plane, right? I can do a lot of things. I can fly any object, but I already introduced you to the Scratch environment. Just once again, this is the toolbox area. This is where you do all of the magic, and this is the stage. This is where it shows you what you're working on. So to get started, let me drag my camera to one side. Okay, I hope you move away from there too. It's still there. Okay, it's right here now. Apparently I have two, so let me close one. Oh, my camera is poof. Okay, I just wanted to keep seeing my face. But then let's see you dragging it this time. Yeah, only one came. Yay. Now this is where I need to focus on the stage. I would come here, pick up the stage. It's called the backdrop. So I choose a backdrop. And because I want a flying object. So what I basically would want to do is to pick blue sky 2, and that's it. I'm not doing flying cards. I want to fly a plane. So if I look through what I have in the character, I want to bring in the character now. So I'll choose fly. I can just first of all delete this so I don't just create any confusion for myself. Yeah, so here you are. It's gone. Poof. I want to bring in a sprite character. So in the class, I was using a parrot. So it's simply by typing, and then I'll bring in a parrot. See if it has a plane. It only has planets. So I've already gone online. I downloaded a plane. So what I would do is I would just upload my own sprite. So if I need to do anything and it's not on Scratch, I can always bring it in. So I already downloaded a plane, and then I would click on this to bring it here. So I have it here. I call it airplane, and then I'll click on open, and it's important. So this is it. So it's so big. I want to resize it, so I can give it about 50. All right. So you can see, and then it's just moderate. So you can see it's just moderate. So now the model of what I'm building is I I can make it simply fly, right? Simply by moving by my controls. Um, so I would want to do that. So you would see in Scratch, it is when you click on this go that your project or your game, whatever you're working on, would start action. But in this instance, I've not done anything. I only brought my my sprite, my character, which is my plane, and then my background, which is like, of course, is flying in the sky. But what the model of what I want to build is, I want, as my plane flies, I want it to meet an object, and I want it to earn a score, earn a mark. So that's what I'm building. So now I will then come over to my code blocks here, and what I'll do now is just will click on events. Event says, just as the name implies, events, what should happen. So I will say, on this my character, when I click on this flag, you should do the following. So what do I want you to do? I just want to show you some things. I want you to move, all right? I want you to move, and then I would come to the motion. Motion makes it move. So I want you to move in a particular direction, okay? So when I, okay, so when I click on this flag, I want that my device, my character should move in a particular direction. So I would come here, and then I would say, when I move. So I will click on that point direction. So what do I want to select? Okay, so I just wanted to show you that. Now, if I click on, it just simply as when I click on the flag, points towards the mouse pointer. So you can see this is where the mouse pointer is. So I can change the direction. Okay, it's pointing that way. So if I say this 90, you can see I can also type 90. So if I say 90, it's a B, and then it's pointing in that direction. All right, just so you know that for whatever command you pass. So I won't be needing that. I just wanted to show you. So to remove any command you don't need, you just drag it back to the block when it disappear. But I want it to say something. So I want my plane to say, whenever I click that, it um, just say something. I'm flying to Leeds in UK. Let's just say something like that. And then when I click on it, you will see it just indicate that for 2 seconds. So whatever amount of time you want it to appear, if I say one, it appears promptly. You can see for 1 second and it goes. If I say appear for 5 seconds, it stays a while. So just so you know that for every of this, there is always cause and effects. So I can stop, and then I will then now proceed with what I want. Okay, so still on this character, so this is what I now. I want such that whenever I move it, my arrow key up and down, it should also move. So I would come to my events and say, when this, when the arrow, let's say the right arrow is pressed, it should change X. I'll come into the, you can see it's the motion, change X by 10 is okay. That's what the right arrow. You remember your number key, I mean your number line. So I'll also do the same. Whenever I also press, I can bring it anyhow, I can bring it down, but it's not going to stack together. Let me bring my camera to this side now. Right. So whenever I do what again? Change. Okay. By minus x. So when it moves by minus x, but I'll change this value. So my right should be positive, whereas my left should be negative, according to number line. Then I also want to have, whenever I move up or down, up and down is always y. So up arrow will always be positive. Let me also drag it so that I don't drag again. Whenever I, so I'll bring all of this, down arrow, and then I go back to the motion. So as I pick change X, I'll also see change Y. So you see, here you go by this, and then also change, oh, I pick YX. So I picked the wrong one, so I just drag it and drop. I look for X, so I'll look for Y rather. So this is for Y. I also pick the same Y down here, but I'll make sure I put in the negative value because my number line says so. I press enter. So now let me play. Move my camera away. I think I'm going to close my camera so that you can see everything clearly. So you see, and I'm using my arrow key now. You can see it keeps saying I move forward, I move backward, I move down, you see, and I move up. So my plane is ready to fly. So this is done. Then I'll move on to the next thing. I'll stop because I click to see what I have done. Now let my plane be here. The next thing I want to do, I want to add another object because I told you earlier what I'm building is I want once my plane hits a coin or something, it should give me a score. So I'll go here again, choose a sprite, and then this time around I want a coin. So I think this can fit into a coin, the ball, right? So it's going to appear now. So once it appears, I'll also give you some commands. And then to give you some commands, you will see I'll make good use of my code blocks. I know the internet is delaying, but it's going to appear right now. It's going to appear shortly. So you can see it's now here, but I want to make it smaller. So what I need to do is just reduce the size. I can give it 50 because I just want it to be just little. And then I want my thing to also be big. So this is the object it will be collecting. So now for me to work on this object, I'll make sure I click on that character. If I click on the airplane, you will see the block of codes. When I click on it in the sprite, you'll see this is what I've done to the block of codes. Okay, I think yeah. Then for the ball, the object, I'll ensure I click on it, and when I click on it, I will then now give it some block of code as well. So to start with, it's always the event. Once the flag is clicked, I'll bring it. So have we decided on what we want the ball to do? The ball needs to be moving endlessly. It needs to be moving endlessly, because the plane needs to fly to it and catch up with it. So I will now want this ball to be moving forever. What do I need to do? I already have my once the game starts, okay? I want it to keep moving forever. So I told you when I come to control, I will see my forever block. So I'll drag it and drop it here. Okay. So what then do I need to do? I need to do something. I need it to go to random position anywhere on the screen. So I'll drag it as well. Random anywhere you want to go to, just keep going there. Then when you do it so, I need it to change the position of X, change wherever you are going. So change X. Once it moves horizontally, if you change X position in the entire screen, just keep changing. So I'll give it a value of 250. And I want it to repeat, to keep repeating it. I'll go back to the control. I'll bring this repeat beneath this change. And then I want it to repeat it, forever. Just let me give it a value of 32. And also, while it's repeating, I want it to do something. I want it to also change. So I'll pick it, change X by, you know, as it's moving forward, we move backward on the X axis. So let me give it about negative of 15. So now see what I've done on the ball, on that. You see, it just keep moving. You can see it's moving anywhere on the screen. You see it. So can you see it on the stage? It's just moving anywhere. And then I can also move my plane. So my plane is moving, is moving, is moving. So we are making it happening. It's happening. It's happening. So I'll click on stop and I'll move on to the next thing. So having done that, the next thing I want to do now is I want to keep the score. Right. So I would then come to look at my code blocks. So I'll come to the variables. So in variables, I will click on make variable. And then I will call this core for all the strings. It's not just for one. Okay, so I'll click on okay. So you can see my score is here. Now on the score, I need to do some things on the score. Alright. So I'll bring right on the score. Okay, I will then now say come to event again. When it is clicked, when the game starts, okay, this is for the score. I'll come to the variables. I want to set the score. So I'll bring this block of code, drag and drop here. So I will now change what is here to set the score. It's to set it to 0 for the first time, and I want it to be forever. I'll go back to the control, and then I will tell it forever. Okay, set the score forever. Now do this in the forever after you set the score to 0. I'll also bring something right inside. Okay, I'm dragging everything. I want to bring in the if. I want to drag it here inside the forever. I want it to sense something. So I'll bring it the sensing. Once it senses it, if touching it, once it touch the ball, so I'll pick touching. Alright, so if touching, I want to drag it. So instead of mouse pointer, it's touching the I have the ball. It's supposed to give me the ball. If touching the ball, okay, and if touching the ball, it's not the mouse pointer. It's supposed to be touching the edge. I don't want to touch the edge, or I'll check why. It's supposed to be touching the ball. If touching the ball, then change the score. So I'll go back to the variable. This is the variable. I'll tell it to change. Change my score, not my variable. My score to 1. Alright. Once it does that, I'll have my score counting. So we're going to see what this will bring to us. So, so now let's see what this will do to us. Now, after I have added the change score, you would then also go to the events and ensure you bring it to wait for 1 second. So let me just drop this. Okay, under the control, you bring it and drop it here. Okay, wait 1 second. Just under the change score. So this is it. So now let's play. So it says I'm flying to the UK. You would see that what I did earlier is that once the ball touched the edge, it should count. But I do not want it to be like that. I want it such that once the ball touches the airplane, that's when it counts. That's what I want to make it to be, not when it touches the edge. So I'm going to make it to that. Okay, so let's do it again. I've changed the value from touching to from airplane, from edge, I beg your pardon, to airplane. So when it touches the airplane, that is when the score is going to count. So now let's click on this play now or go. So I'll move my arrow. You can see I have 1. Once it touches the ball again, the ball is so fast. You can see, and my score is increasing. You can see, it's increasing. It's increasing. If I also want it such that it make a sound when it touches the ball, I can do all of that. So as I move up and down, I just have to move very fast, and you can see it's increasing. So pretty much my plane is now flying. I can make it to fly on its own too, but let's start gradually so that you get to know some of the controls around Scratch, and then you can build amazing things. If anything you can think, you can build it. Okay, so now moving on. Now haven't we done all of this? Let's see how some spices or lovely things into the cloud. So we call it scenery. I would want to have something that looks like cloud like. So let's look for it. Clouds. And then it's coming right up. To add anything is always in the character. So this is the cloud. It should be somewhere in here. It's going to appear. But I need to do some things to it as well. So let me click on the clouds. So this is it. And I want it to be, just a little bit above my airplane. Okay, so that as it's moving, I also want it to be moving forever. So let it just be above my head. So to code the cloud, you have to make sure you click on it down here in the sprite section. So of course, don't forget, it is always on the event. Once I click on this start or go, I want it to be forever. You go to the control. The block of codes are easy. You just need to know what you want to do. And it's speaking English to me. It's just English. I'll just mute this. Okay, so it's speaking English. So I want it to be looping forever. So I bring in my forever block. I bring it my forever block. Now I would want to go into motion and set something. So I want to set the direction. Okay, so let me set it. That means I want it to move in a particular direction. So the entire, let's give it a value of 250, press enter. And I want it to repeat, to keep repeating. I want it to keep repeating. I'll come to the control and come to repeat. Just below that, I want it to repeat. And then to keep doing this, let's just give it the value of 100. And while it's doing that, I will just want it to keep changing direction. So change right here. So I'll just say change x by -5. Let's select the 5. Yeah, -5. Okay, so let's see how this will come back. I'll click on go. You see it? It's just moving, showing as if my plane is actually flying. Now I might want my plane to change to something else. Just because at every point the ball hits the plane, it gives a count. So let me stop. I'm not done yet. I will just almost rounding up now. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is to try to change the costume of this plane. You know, the plane is like this. The plane may want to be like this. The plane may want to be like that. So now I'll come to costume. Here you will see different costume. And it's because I am still on the cloud. So I'll change that and ensure I am clicking on my plane. So I click on the airplane. I only have one direction of this airplane. But I'll try to make another so that it will be able to change direction, and when you are looking at it, it appears as, oh, it's just a plane flying. So let's do that. Okay, so now having done all that, we talked about the costume. You know my plane was in this direction. Let me introduce you to what we call costumes. So I'll come to costumes here. This is the original plane I had it. But I can make another direction. You know, you can fly this way or the other way. So what I need to do is I can just duplicate. When I duplicate, I'll have another. And I can flip vertical. Okay. I can just turn it in different direction if I want it to fly in different direction. Okay, so you can see. So now I just did this. I have it flying in this right direction, and then I flip it for the other one to fly in the other direction. So I just have the costume. But I want my code to be able to respond to this at any time. Okay. So what do I need to do? I would also bring in the event, which is the start here. I'll go into my control, bring the forever. It keeps looping out. I drag it and I put it here. I went into my motion. I set the direction of X. So if you scroll a little bit down, you will see set X to, and then I change the value to 250. Then I want it to switch the costume to airplane 2, and I want it to repeat it. So where did I give this switch? It's on the loops. So it's here. So you can see switch costume. It's already recognized that I have, look at them, airplane and airplane 2. It's the one that gave it this name, airplane 2, because I created another one like I did earlier. Then I also went into my events. I picked on the repeat, which is down here. I beg your pardon, on my control. I pick on the repeat and I say it should repeat, set the value to 100. and this is it. So it keeps doing this forever. Now I want a situation whereby when my plane hits the ball, I want it to also play a sound. So what will I do? I went into sound. You will see sound. In your own situation, there will be nothing here. So you have to click on this to choose a sound. You have tons of sounds, and you can also make your own sound. So I'll click on this and choose a sound. Let's just do it again. Pick a sound. You can actually play your own sound. So if I play, here, so I picked on the coin, and this is it here. This is the coin sound. If I play it, it just picks that. So whenever you are anywhere, whether costume, sounds, to go back to your code, you just click on. All right. So I click on my code, and I'm here. So I'll come to the loops. Remember the code blocks that I had before while I was setting the score. Then I'll come down here where I have change sound score by one. And then I want you to play a sound. I'll call it coin. All of the sound that I have here. And this is where I can record my own. So let me record mine and see. So I will allow microphone. So once I click on this, it will record. Oops. So let me play it. Oops. So, and then I'll save it. So if I want this sound to be played in, so you can see my own recording is back here. Then I go back to my code. I don't forget what I did was that I drag the code here in the looks. I drag it, and then that's how I drag the code in the sound. I beg your pardon. So I say play sound until done. So here now I can come here and choose the recording one. So anytime I will now start playing my game. So let me move my video here now. Anytime I play this, I click on the go. Alright. You see, anytime it touches the go, it hasn't touched yet. Oops. So as it plays that sound, then my score becomes one. You see, if it touches again now, that means it becomes two. It goes again. It's moving very fast. So you see, once it gets to touch it again, oops. But I don't want the oops sound. Let me change it, and then I'll just so that's how you can record your own sound. I want to pick the coin. So and then if I play again, it will give me that coin sound instead of okay, so you can see it started counting to number one. Okay, so it is. So and then it can switch. So that's about it. You go do your own and let's see what you can come up with. So this is me making a flying object. Now, as I have done this now, so let me stop the game. As I have it now, it's saved. That's why I wanted it to create an account. So my project name is Flying Thing. One beautiful thing about Scratch is that it has tutorial. It will teach you right in Scratch. Let me drag this to this side. I can build so much on this. I can do a lot more with this, but let's kickstart with this. The tutorial here allows you to choose any tutorial and you can learn from it. One of the popular games that our students build is a point game. If I pick on this point game now, I will be able to learn how it is done. I can simply click on when it's loaded now. I click on play. Then I listen to it.
You can use Scratch to make a Pong game. Bounce a ball, or something else, and score points to win. First, let's pick.
Or if I want to watch Zena, teaching me, or I just click on this arrow next, it will teach me what I should do. It says I should have the backdrop first, and now the backdrop, I can move on and on. And you can create amazing things. So from now, I will just share amazing links with you, and you can create the carries, you can play a shooting game with a plane, and so much beautiful things. So thank you so much for being here today. Till I come your way next time, keep exploring.